He is Chuck Todd. I am Chris Salizza. Chuck, I always write down stuff I want to make sure we talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But like, there's so normally I can fit it easily on a post-it note, but like this post-it note is like super crowded, and this isn't even everything. Let me just run through a few things.
Yeah, I didn't get to everything I wanted to get to in my opening for today as well.
The Charlie Kirk Memorial Service, Tom Homan, a $50,000 bag of cash. The Pentagon press being basically like you have to sign essentially a loyalty pledge. Jimmy Kimmel, the shutdown is 8 days away, and we are now in a place with the Department of Justice where Donald Trump is sending public messages to Pam Bondi saying we need to put people in place, not just who will target my political enemies, but who will prosecute them. Out of all of that, and I want to talk about a bunch of it, tell me where you want to start. What if you're doing the lead, what's the lead?
Right. Well, you know, it's interesting. What I attempted today, and I say attempted because it was not easy, right? To me, it's trying to. There is a through line, right?
Okay,
between the weaponization of the FCC with Brendan Carr, the weaponization of the Fed, the weaponization of what's going on at the Pentagon, which is directly impacted by two news stories that leaked literally 12 and 24 hours before the Pentagon brought that out, which has to do with the unconstitutional and likely unlawful military attacks on those Venezuelan drug boats.
We now 3 boats have been attacked.
Right. This is not a random Pentagon policy out of nowhere. This is a direct, like, they didn't like, first they tried to fire all the leakers, and now they've decided, okay, let's make using unclassified, classified material illegal in some form, which I don't know how. Again, good luck prosecuting that.
Yeah.
You have Trump with his political enemies. Just charge them. I don't care whether they're innocent or not. Just charge them, right?
He said they're guilty as hell. He doesn't
But if they're not guilty, so
it doesn't really matter.
Right.
Find someone who can charge them.
I want them.
Yeah.
And the home and bag of cash, right? It really is. And this is what makes I vacillate all the time between how discouraged should we be? Is this, is the democracy crumbling because frankly, he's attacking it on multiple fronts. Mm-hmm. And we're also numb to the threat because for the last 6 years, everything's been to 11. Oh my God, this is to 11. Yep. This is to 11. So that when you actually do need to raise an alarm, the alarms have been going off so much. Your car alarm goes off all the time. I just assume it went off again. I didn't know somebody was actually breaking into your car alarm, right? Like breaking into your car. Yeah. That's the way it feels at the moment. So it is more of this. Now, here's an angle I took, which is, this is all bad politics for Trump. He is suddenly accumulating, he had successfully in the first 6 months gone about his agenda without too many Republicans pushing back.
Yep.
Right? The key to stopping Trump is when his fellow Republicans push back. That's why Trump was thwarted his first term. Is Republicans allowed, when they push back, it allowed corporate America to have more of a spine, the media to have more of a spine, et cetera. We've been very much isolated, right? But with all of these moves, you do still have conservatives who do have principles, okay? Ted Cruz still has principles on free speech. Rand Paul still has principles on extrajudicial killings and on free speech. I do think that with what Trump is doing, he doesn't help himself. His approval ratings are going down, and he's accumulating. There are real cracks in his coalition. So what I would argue is that everything he's trying to do in order to get retribution, get back at his enemies, is actually harming him politically. It's just there's such a fog with it right now.
Yeah.
I know it's hard for people to see.
When you were saying that, I was thinking it's always true that think about Nixon. Nixon is not undone ultimately by Democrats. He's undone by Republicans. Mm-hmm. George W. Bush's numbers are not driven into the 30s by Democrats who hated him. Mm-hmm. It's driven in by Republicans who turn on him. Mm-hmm. And I think it's the same thing with Trump. It's just fascinating because we haven't, to your point, seen a whole hell of a lot of this. It's always been like, oh, it'll be fine. No comment, and so
look, the last 96 hours worth of truly, I mean, again, all Nixonian. Everything he's doing is what cost Nixon the presidency. Okay. Everything here, right? Manipulating the Justice Department, all these things. The Charlie Kirk memorial and the aftermath of his killing has sort of, I do think, masked, has created a unity on the right, but it's masking what I do think are going to be real issues here. I mean, Trump is pushing the envelope is totally underutilizing that metaphor.
It's like you said. I mean, we know this from Steve Bannon. The whole flood the zone thing is a real thing. It is just amazing to me, all of these things. And I think you're right. The Charlie Kirk thing and the crowd and everyone who spoke there kind of drowned out all the rest of it. But like, I mean, since we last talked, ABC suspended Jimmy Kimmel. The government is now 8 days away from shutting down. We just talked about the Pentagon press thing. All the stuff that's going on with Homan and the DOJ. I mean, all of these things. Like I said, we didn't
even get to what is coming, which is this
the autism thing.
Well, no.
Oh, so there's even another thing
I wasn't
coming.
Even going there. No, but it's going to be this executive order where they're going to try to create a new classification for anybody on the left who opposes Trump as somehow a member of Antifa and a terrorist.
Yeah. Yes.
Like this is coming. And I don't think we are fully now. I don't think there's any the problem. Like I don't even know what Antifa is. I know what the definition of Antifa is, and I know
what the word means, but it's not a group.
There is no group.
No.
And so, but what's dangerous is that by designating it, who's going to define who the group is? And if the Trump administration decides to say, "You, George Soros, are a part of this group that I designated," and you're like, "No, I'm not," and it doesn't matter. Like they're going to then use that as some sort of potential opening, and I think that's what's so extraordinarily dangerous about these designations. Like what he did with, look, he's sort of testing the theory of this case with what he's doing with Venezuela, and sort of designating this sort of they're narco terrorists, and somehow it allows. By the way, he's using the AUMF,
of course,
as their legal cover on this, which of course is just
20 odd years old,
so far removed from what the AMUF was meant to be.
I was struck. I just went through Trump's speech at the Kirk eulogy, and to your point, one of the things he says is, we're going to round up these leftist groups that fund this hate. And I do think it's important to note that, at least based on the reporting thus far, this guy who we think, I assume, shot Charlie Kirk had no ties to national groups. Now, I guess you could say this is, no, don't let any, opportunity go begging. Like this is an opportunity to do what Donald Trump wants to do as it relates to the left. But there's no evidence that like this kid was influenced by some sort of national group.
This is not like he was in Afghanistan being trained to be a terrorist. Right. He wasn't at a pilot school learning how to fly planes in order to fly him into this. He wasn't, being sponsored. Like there doesn't appear to be any sort of evidence that he was giving sniper training as a sponsorship. Like, that is why we designated Al-Qaeda. Like that's what was happening with these Islamic extremist groups, is that there was actual training, there was recruitment, you brought over, you were like, this is. And to him to try to conflate this, basically saying it's thought police stuff, right? It really is. There's a new documentary coming out in October called Orwell. The timing, of course, is perfect.
I watched on and off the Charlie Kirk thing. It went really long. And I thought his wife was very moving and powerful. I wrote down. She said, the answer to hate is not hate. Okay. And then Trump gets up there, and I just want to read one thing, because you and I have talked about this a lot of times about uniter versus divider. This is what he said. He's talking about Charlie Kirk. Trump says he was a missionary with a noble spirit and a great, great purpose. He did not hate his opponents. He wanted the best for them. That's where I disagreed with Charlie. I hate my opponent, and I don't want the best for him. Now, people laughed in the room. People laughed, which,
you laugh. It's sort of like the,
And they will say,
like,
and
I'm going to laugh because I don't want to believe he's telling
uncomfortable laughter.
Right.
I assume if they are asked, the White House are asked about today, they'll say, "Oh, he was just joking," and you uptight media don't get it. But I actually think, like, when people, I always say, like, when people joke about stuff, there's a lot of truth in it,